GoElectric here. Today is Sunday, April 6th, 2025, and this is The Current, weekly EV news in about 10 minutes. This week, Hyundai debuted the refreshed 2026 Ioniq 6 electric sedan at the Seoul Mobility Show. They showcased a significant design update to the polarizing original. The front fascia with split LED headlights is reminiscent of their gas-powered Sonata, and the rear spoiler has also been redesigned. Inside, there's a new steering wheel and a larger climate control display with more physical buttons through the center console area. There is no word on whether or not the upgraded 63 and 84 kilowatt-hour batteries or NACS port from the Ioniq 5 refresh will be implemented, but it would be a reasonable assumption. Higher capacity batteries could further improve the already impressive range. Today's rear-wheel drive variant is rated at 342 miles. Hyundai also teased a high-performance Ioniq 6N set for a full reveal in July. The refreshed 2026 Ioniq 6 is expected to hit global markets later this year. What do you think of this redesign and the introduction of more performant variants? On April 3rd, new tariffs imposed by President Trump took effect, and they include a 25% levy on all vehicles imported into the United States. By May 3rd, varying tariff rates are also set to fully apply to foreign-made auto parts. So how will this affect EV adoption in the USA? There are too many factors to answer this for sure, but early reactions by some automakers may start to paint a picture. Hyundai released a statement saying they will not raise the MSRP of their vehicles until June 2nd. That could indicate their projections for depletions of current inventory. Their most popular EV, the Ioniq 5, is built in the US, but about 30% of its contents come from Korea. Ford has taken action by extending employee pricing to most customers from now until June 2nd. For EV customers, the employee pricing is on top of the Ford Power Promise, which has been extended through June 30th. That incentive includes complimentary home charging hardware and installation. Stellantis is taking a page from Ford by also extending employee pricing to most customers until April 30th. They have also gone a step further by pausing production of the Wagoneer S EV in Mexico until May. They've also paused production of the Dodge Charger Daytona EV in Canada until April 21st. These production pauses have resulted in temporary layoffs of 900 US Stellantis employees. At this stage, industry experts warned that vehicle prices will increase by $3,000 to $12,000 if the tariffs remain in place. We can expect some or all of this to be passed on to the consumers, which would change automotive buying decisions, potentially causing supply chain disruptions. Some automakers have been investing in US EV manufacturing though. EV components and battery manufacturing had been greatly incentivized by the Inflation Reduction Act and Department of Energy funding, as we have consistently reported here. It is important to remember that it takes many years for these types of domestic plants to be constructed and reach production. Tesla and General Motors are up and running, with many other automakers and suppliers bringing facilities online within the next year or two. The fact is, making EVs and their components in American facilities tends to be more costly than other parts of the world. Several legacy brands pay a premium for union employment and related contracts, which prohibit globally competitive levels of automation. Corporate-provided healthcare in the US is the most expensive in the world. All of those inputs increase the total cost of production. Tariffs on imported automobiles could offset some or all of those premiums. When asked about the consequences of the tariffs on auto sales, the president said, "I couldn't care less. I hope they raise their prices, because if they do, people are going to buy American-made cars. We have plenty." Tesla has positioned itself better than other American car makers for this situation. All of the automobiles they sell in the USA are built in the USA. Tesla has engineered more vertical integration and typically has the highest percentage of domestically sourced components. Tesla has not yet announced any price increases or special incentives related to the tariffs, but Elon Musk remarked on X, "To be clear, this will affect the price of parts in Tesla cars that come from other countries. The cost impact is not trivial." The automotive industry is global. While the effects of tariffs on imports seems easy to measure, it is not clear how U.S. exports will be affected. Trade partners have begun to engage in tariff negotiations with the U.S. International Trade Commission. As an example, Argentinian officials have confirmed they are attempting to negotiate 0% reciprocal tariffs. We'll keep an eye on those negotiations and report when they can offer concrete information about how policy is affecting EV adoption in the USA. If the price of all automobiles goes up, commodity automobile buyers will have less disposable income after making the payments. Generally, that is a situation which results in a higher level of cost management. I've noticed that buyers who are sensitive to a vehicle's total cost of ownership typically find that EVs deliver favorable numbers in most segments. What are your predictions related to the effects of these tariffs on EV adoption? Now that the first quarter of 2025 has ended, we've got a mixed bag of sales figures to share. America's largest EV producer, Tesla, reported a global decline. They delivered 336,681 units to customers, which is a 13% decrease compared to Q1 of 2024. The reasons for the decline have been hotly debated. Some contributing factors might include a 3 to 4 week pause on their best-selling Model Y production in order to retool for the Juniper refresh, CEO Elon Musk's political activity, stale Model S and X premium models, decreased Cybertruck demand, and increased consumer price sensitivity. While Tesla reports global sales figures, it does not break out sales by country. This week, the brand stopped producing the limited Model Y Launch Edition and introduced a new lower-priced variant of the Model Y. The long-range all-wheel drive model now starts at $48,990 before any incentives, including the $7,500 federal point-of-sale tax credit. It offers 327 miles of range, and deliveries begin next week. Quarterly sales at American EV maker Rivian were also down by 36% compared to Q1 of 2024. The company said the figure is in line with their stated prediction of about 8,000 deliveries this quarter. They claim they're on track to uphold last year's estimate of 46,000 to 51,000 vehicle deliveries in 2025. Another all-electric brand, Lucid Motors, was up in the first quarter, delivering 3,109 vehicles globally, which is a 58% increase from Q1 of 2024, when they delivered 1,967 cars. This includes a marginal contribution from their newly introduced Gravity SUV. General Motors appears to be the second best seller in EVs in the US, with sales up 94% on the quarter across all their brands, with 31,887 EVs sold. The Chevy brand saw a 119% increase in EV sales year over year, while Cadillac EV sales were up 37% and GMC EV sales were up 183%. Ford's US EV sales were up by 11%. The Ford Mustang Mach-E led the way, increasing year-over-year sales by 21% with 11,607 sold. E-Transit sales rose as well, increasing by 30% to 3,756 units. The F-150 Lightning was down 7% to 7,187 units sold. Hyundai's EV sales rose 3%, with the Ioniq 5 leading the way, selling 8,611 vehicles in the quarter. It's up 26% compared to 2024. Unfortunately, their Ioniq 6 electric sedan did not fare as well. Its deliveries dropped 9% to 3,318 delivered. We expect the aforementioned refresh to boost that model. Sister brand Kia's EV sales in the US were down 6%, with notable EV9 and EV6 sales declines. On to the German brands. Volkswagen EV sales are up in the US, with ID4 sales rising 24% compared to last year in the first quarter. Notably, that model was subject to a stop sale for most of 2024. VW also sold 1,901 ID Buzzes in Q1, and that model was not available in Q1 of 2024. BMW is also doing well in the US, with 13,538 EVs sold during the first quarter. This represents a 26% increase from the 10,713 EVs sold in the same quarter last year. Unfortunately, a fellow German automaker didn't have the same results. Audi suffered declines across their entire EV lineup here. Toyota's Soul EV, the BZ4X, was up 195% with 5,610 sold in the US. Hopefully, the refreshed model with improved range and charging headed for Europe before the end of this year will come to the US to help Toyota keep up that winning streak in 2026. Their luxury brand Lexus sells a sister vehicle called the RZ, which was down by 9% in Q1, only selling 1,454 units. Subaru Solterra is built on the same platform in the same factory as the BZ4X and the RZ, and its sales were up by 172% on the year, with 3,131 vehicles sold. Fellow Japanese automaker Nissan sold 2,323 Leafs, up 103% on the year. That is a pretty good trick since production ended in December of 2024. Their ARIYA was just about flat year over year with 4,148 sold in the quarter. Stellantis provided some breakouts for their EV sales figures, including the newly released Jeep Wagoneer S. They sold 2,595 of those last quarter. The Dodge Charger Daytona EV was hot on its heels with 1,947 units delivered in Q1. The company said their Fiat brand's total US sales increased by 239%, driven by the all-electric 500e. The percentage sounds impressive, but the grand total was 522 units. Reflecting on quarterly sales figures is a great reminder that brands which produce more competitive and compelling products continue to outsell those producing low-range, low-tech, and slow-charging EVs. Buyers reward excellence. Macroeconomics and uncertain policy have had chilling effect, but EVs are still on a growth trajectory. If you have helpful information and other insights to share, please share those facts and links in the comments section. Whew! That was a lot. And that just about does it for this week. Be sure to subscribe to our industry channel at youtube.com/@Miss GoElectric Industry, where we'll continue publishing interviews we filmed at last week's EV Charging Summit. And don't forget to join me on X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok for real-time updates and fun stories which might not fit into the current or on YouTube. Thank you all for joining me this week, and be sure to tune in next week because we'll be in Miami for the Formula E race. And until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.